Habibah, I would like to, we're closing off to 9:30. I'd like to ask two more questions before I open it up to the floor.
Yes.
The first one is, with regard to the current economy right now, you don't want to be a school leaver. It's very scary because of the economy caused by the global economic crisis caused by the pandemic. What advice do you have for job seekers, wanting to land themselves a job? What can they do to get the foot in the door?
So I believe every individual has their own unique talents. So for me, for somebody who's looking for a job, before they even do that, they need to ask themselves, what exactly do they want to do? Because sometimes people just say, oh, I just want a job. And then, they just apply to any vacancies that's available out there. But I think before you do that, ask yourself, what is it that I really want? What do I want to do? Where do I think I can be good at? Yeah. So ask yourself that question first. And after you ask yourself that question, and you say, okay, what are my qualities? What are my strengths? Yeah. Because sometimes people always think about their weaknesses more than they think about their strengths. But you've gone through school, you've gone through, difficult exams, not only just at school, but also you've gone through life, up to your 20s and what have you. I'm sure you've gone through some difficulty that you have been able to overcome. So you need to understand where your strengths are and also maybe aware of what your weaknesses are. So once you know what you want, what kind of job that you want, and you know what your strengths are, and then you sort of say, okay, this is the role that I want. These are my qualities. How does that fit? Yeah. And if you think that, okay, it may not be perfect, but maybe I can develop that in order for it to be perfect. What do I need to do? You go Google search, now with the internet, there's a lot of information that you can get. Yeah. So research. Now, like for instance, if you got called for interview,
Yes.
don't get so nervous, Just say, okay, I got called for an interview. That's great. They like what they see on my resume. So, it's just now going to that next step. Managing disappointments is not something that only you guys go through. I mean, even us, at my age, we deal with disappointments every day. Things may not go as planned, but you still have to manage. So thinking positive is the only way to go through job seeking, because otherwise you just give up, and you can't, you can't give up.
So if I hear you correctly, Habibah, what you're telling me is don't be a mass marketer. Don't go to everyone. Be Sun Tzu. Know your strength. Be strategic. Know more about a subject than anyone else by doing your research.
Yes.
And then go in with your positive mind.
Yes, because to be honest with you, in an interview, even if you have all the qualifications, and you got called for interview, right? Yeah. You got called for interview because we like to see, we like what we saw in the paper, on your resume. Right. The interview is just to confirm to us that you can work with us. You will be able to fit in our organization, that you are confident, that you're passionate about wanting to contribute. Yeah. So those personal qualities to me are more important than your qualification, etc., etc. Yeah, because qualifications people can have, but your personality, your personality to be able to work as a team, your personality as having potential to want to do more, wanting to learn, hungry, to contribute. Those are the kind of, we want dynamic people, like those people here who are actually participating in this one, wanting to know what's going on, right? So, that curious mind. What can you contribute to the organization? And if if this is like, that's why I was asking, you know what you want first. If you know what you want, and you know where your strengths are, in an interview, you will be able to sell yourself. I really want this job because I think I can do this and I can contribute by this. I've read, I've done my research. This is what I find, and etc. etc. It makes you able to have that conversation with the interviewer than just waiting to be asked the question. You know what I mean?
I totally understand. Can you tell me, is there any example of a candidate that come in and impress you so much, and you go on the spot, yeah, and you go,
there
hey,
were a few. There were actually quite a few. There were quite a few.
What do they look like? Do they smell a certain way? Do they dress a certain way? What?
Okay, definitely when they come in, they look confident. Yeah, they come very well prepared. When we ask them questions, they were ready with the answers. The ability to ask the right questions as well. When they come in, they know about the organization already. They know about BIBD. They know who our CEO is. They know our mission, vision. That's very impressive. Yeah, to me, they have done their homework.
Right.
And then when we ask them, why do you want, why did you apply for this job? And they're able to tell you why. And they're able to say, if I got this job, this is what I can do. Those are very impressive.
Interesting.
Not in an arrogant way. If people are arrogant, then,
it comes across.
Yeah, they go beyond that.
It goes back to the likability factor, isn't it?
Yes. And like, sometimes you also ask them, what's on your resume that you haven't told us, and not on your resume that we need to know, and we then say, see how they react, because sometimes they don't put things on their resume that we need to know, right? For instance, their health conditions, for instance,
right.
or some other issues. So we see how they react, and then we can see whether there's an honesty.
You mentioned something about that was very interesting just now, is whether or not that person has a curious mind, whether or not they ask good questions. So what you're telling us is it's not a one-way street in an interview.
No. Right. No, interview is not like you answer my question. It is a conversation. Like I said, the interview is to see whether we like you or not. Whether we can see that you can work in our organization or not.
Well, what kind of question would impress you? Let's say if I ask, hey, how much is my gaji? Would you put a question mark to me?
No, they would ask it at the end. What would not? Maybe an easier way is how not to impress me. Yeah.
Right.
When they talk about the gaji first. How much is this job paying? Most of the time they don't ask that, but how much time they spent on asking about benefits and what have that. It is important for them to ask, because they want to know, and they have a right to know. But if they spend so much time just asking about benefits, then I would wonder, because I would worry about whether this person is only going to work for the money. Only interested in the money, not really interested in the job. Yeah, because then you have to think, if they're like this, then how do you motivate this person? Just by money? Then, people's motivations also need to be looked at.
But if you're working for a bank and you're money hungry, that would be a good news, wouldn't it? So you want to work hard for the commission?
No, they would need to be able to make profits for the bank. That's for sure. But money hungry not necessarily meaning that you have to remember that, as I said, being in a bank is risky business. If they are greedy, what have you, they may not be honest.
That's dangerous.
Yeah, very dangerous.
Right. Thank you so much. I've asked all my questions, and it's been quite a journey learning from you.
Thank you.
I wish I had this. I might have gotten a job in a bank. No.
Also another thing. If you are interested, if any one of you are interested, you can always write to us. For an apprenticeship. we do offer that, depending on what's the need of the organization. But if you want to just have an experience, to find out what's a bank, what's working in a bank like, um, and you have something to offer as well, you can write to us for an apprenticeship. We see if we can actually, get you in.